Thanks for visiting Maverick Physical Therapy, everyone. Again, my name is Mark Friends, the owner of Maverick Physical Therapy. My doctorate in physical therapy. I am an applied functional scientist. Today, in this little episode, we're going to be talking about applied functional science, what that is, the foundation to that, and who created it, because we have to give credit to where credit is due. And those are some extremely brilliant, creative, and forward-thinking minds that deserve that credit, that have, really walked the plank for tons of us that have longed for encouragement and a great desire to be a part of a community of individuals that can work together to inspire each other, and that can stand up for truth no matter how much ridicule and no matter how much beating that you receive. And so the applied functional science principles, strategies, and techniques that we'll go through was designed and developed by the Gray Institute out of Adrian, Michigan, by Gary Gray, and with help from David Tibiero and his son Doug. And I'd have to say there's a lot of other individuals too that have played a highly important role in those responsibilities of developing this this foundation, this perspective in which we get to help individuals get better. And so the applied functional sciences, generally speaking, when we look at what we do in this movement world, in this medical world, we're held accountable for what we do and must have a foundation for what we do. If you build a house, you certainly wouldn't build a house without a foundation, due to the fact that, or a foundation that's not very good, or building and adding on to a house that's not adequately supported. So we need a purpose. Applied functional science consists of undeniable truths to that in which it means to be a human being. And what I mean by that are, truth is truth in that truth doesn't change, but our perspective and understanding of truth does change. And when it comes to being a clinician and providing services for individuals, patients, and clients like yourself, it certainly needs to be way more than collecting a paycheck. And there needs to be a sincere, genuine generosity and giving to that of the patient and the client. And there needs to be these foundational principles that are set aside and observed, and more importantly, the uniqueness of the individual that is being seen needs to be cherished, and that needs to be celebrated. And that's why what I believe, so my dealings with the Gray Institute now span 15 years. It's 2015. I was first introduced to them in the year of 2000. They've been going at things for the past 30 years, 30 plus years, in terms of providing skilled services. And what I greatly admire about Gary, Dave, and Doug is that over the course of the last 15 years, the applied functional science perspective in which they take, and that I'll be digging further into and sharing, has not changed. Now, the way we look at our strategies and the techniques that we provide certainly can have and will because we learn and we look to build upon our experiences. So first and foremost, the background of applied functional science is the truth of applied functional science, and they'll all tell you the same thing in that truth does not change. Again, our perspective and our understanding of it does. We need to highly focus on the individual. It's about customizing what we can provide to further the genetic potential of humans. The Gray Institute refers to these processes, and taking a look at this and what they believe in is that we need to inspire and transform mind, body, and spirit. The beauty of the individual is the encouragement and the empowerment of customization rather than the imprisonment of protocol. So following a general, generic-based way of treating and enhancing the performance of others. We need to know as applied functional scientists that we have these common denominators that are consistent with human function. We need to know that in order to make someone better, our assessments and evaluations, they 100% need to be the treatment. The treatment is an assessment evaluation. As human beings, these fundamental truths that we talk about, we need to be able to squat, we need to be able to lunge, we need to be able to kneel, we need to be able to rotate, to twist, to push, to pull, to climb, to crawl, to drag. We need to be able to run, to jump, to hop, to skip, and to walk. We need to be able to do that in all dimensions. We look at the applied functional science perspective. It's a lot more than just looking at what I'm doing right now, just looking at kind of these skeletons and these bones. We need to be able to look at the body in this integrated way. We need to be able to have these foundations that dictate what truth are. We need to be able to have this foundation set that as we dig in, we'll know that, you know what, in order for me to be able to use this to get someone better, does this meet the truths of the physical truths? Do they meet our biological truths, and do they meet our behavioral truths? So again, applied functional science is a perspective and a way that we can use this name that can classify and kind of categorize our thoughts a little bit to give us a foundation, but to make what we do very diverse by having the creativity and the freedom to not be driven by evidence-based practice, which is man-made, developed from a classroom and a scientific lab. This is an approach that is developed by these undeniable truths in which what it means to be human, that we unfortunately, you know what, someday if we don't like it, we can fight with our Creator over that. They're truths that we can't shake, and truths that, being human, they're consistent to any and every human being that has, in the history of the earth and moving forward throughout the remainder of the earth's existence. All human beings will be subject to these truths. So we don't abide by and subscribe to protocols and evidence, what we call base practice. That's the big kind of gadgety and gizmo kind of word of today, because you can't sail a sailboat in the classroom. although you can, it does not, the sailboat that we sail in the classroom looks a lot differently when we get it out and have to deal with the chaoticness, the unpredictableness, the instability of life in general. So it's very easy to sail a sailboat in the classroom, and to use these statistical results that man has hypothesized and has put together to assess in a classroom based on what their biases are, to tell us how we should be treating and acting and what we should be using amongst the rehabilitation process and the performance enhancement based process. We look at truths to be our drivers and facilitators, and we gather our evidence from that because that's truth. Makes a lot more sense. So in a nutshell, it's applied functional science. Applied functional science ultimately is truth. If we don't like it, like I said earlier, we can fight with our Creator about it someday.